So where are we? We are at 9:30. I'm not seeing, nobody's saying they can't hear me, so that's a good start. That's a good start. All right, so we're pretty close to the start time of our practice this morning. And I just thought I'd take the first couple moments here to introduce myself if there's anybody out there that's new to me. My name is Sheila Goodfellow. I'm one of the yoga teachers at the Estate of Health, and I'm offering this gentle, all levels yoga class this morning to help us deepen our connection to the earth. You won't require any special props for the class this morning, though a blanket could come in handy. There will be a couple postures where we're on our hands and knees, if that's in your practice. And the blanket underneath the knees can just give extra padding and extra cushion for the knees. And also during Shavasana, I personally always like a blanket in Shavasana just to keep me a little bit warm. So feel free to grab a blanket now if one isn't nearby, if you think that would be within your realm of the practice today. And speaking of that, this is very much about your practice. I, of course, can't see your bodies, and so there is a little bit of, I guess, the personal practice comes in, listen to your body. Just because I'm suggesting something or suggesting a posture does not mean you have to do it. You can skip any posture, you can skip all the postures and just head to Shavasana and we'll meet up with you later. That's no problem. The big thing with yoga is definitely tuning in and listening to your body. Couple other things. This class is definitely free. You are welcome, though, to offer a donation. You can send it to jordan@estateofhealth.ca. I think I have that wrong, but I'll get Jordan to type that in the comments for you. And we're going to give 100% of any donations over to IRCA so that they can plant some more trees in our area. And speaking of trees, the Estate of Health property has been blessed with lots and lots of sugar maple saplings. And so as the landscaping has been going on, we've been needing to remove some of those trees, but we want them to go to happy homes. And so the crew has been digging them up, putting them in pots, and they are available for anybody to come and pick up. They're free. Of course, if you want to make a donation to IRCA, that would be swell. But I think about 50 trees already have been rehomed. So if you think you have room, or if you think your neighbor or a friend has room for a sugar maple tree, then swing on by the Estate of Health and pick up a sugar maple tree. Okay, I think that's it for administrative stuff. Let me check. Okay, nothing there. Okay, so our practice today. There is one thing I do want to talk about before we actually get into the practice, and that is intention. I like to encourage my students to set an intention before any class. It's really a way to personalize your yoga practice. Regardless of what the teacher is instructing, you can have your own kind of inner theme going on. And that's no different this morning. I'm going to encourage you to set an intention. A little bit different this time. Instead of the intention being just around this practice on this particular day, I'm going to encourage you to set an intention for the upcoming season. All the way through the rest of spring, even through summer. Let's take it all the way to fall. And what would you like to see come into your life in these next couple of months? Now, intentions, I've really started to think about intentions as being like little seeds, that you plant this seed, and as time goes on and the right environmental conditions happen, that seed can start to germinate and grow. And as I was reflecting about this for the class, I thought about some of the seeds out there in the rest of nature. And some seeds need something like jack pines. They need a wildfire to happen for those seeds to germinate. They have this waxy coating on them, and unless a wildfire happens, the seed won't germinate. Other seeds need to go through a winter cold period. They need to be freezing cold before they'll crack open. And then there's a whole set of seeds out there, including most fruit trees, that they actually need to be eaten and pooped out for them to germinate. So wherever you are, trust that the experiences you've had are going to help your seeds germinate, whether that's a winter cold, maybe it's a wildfire, or maybe you just feel like you've been pooped out. You know, that happens to us sometimes. But all of in nature are necessary for growth. And so let's maybe just cast that light on our experience this morning. All right. I think that's about it. I think we'll start with our practice. I'm going to move back to my yoga mat now. And I'm actually going to invite you to start the practice on your back in Shavasana. So coming into Shavasana, we roll down on our backs. And it'll be your choice. Your knees can be bent, or you can stretch your legs out. Check in with your lower back and let your lower back make that decision for you. Okay? You can wiggle yourself in and get a little bit more comfortable. If your knees are bent, you might want to step your feet a little bit wider apart and then let your knees fall in and support one another. Your arms can rest on the ground with palms facing up. Or if you feel like being a little bit more grounded this morning, you can your palms to face down. Let's take a deep breath in here. Sigh it out. A deep breath in. Sigh it out. And one more. Begin to notice your head, your ears, your eyes, your lips. Notice your shoulders, your arms, hands, fingers and thumbs. Notice your chest, your belly, your back. Notice your hips, your legs. Notice your feet and your toes. Be aware of your entire physical body. Allow your attention to drift up to the center of your chest, to your heart center. You might notice the movement of your breath at your heart center. You might notice the temperature of your skin, the feel of the fabric against your skin. You might even notice your own heartbeat. With your attention resting here at your heart center, I'm going to invite you to set your intention. What is your intention for this coming season? This could be a new skill you wish to develop. Maybe there's something you'd like to learn. Maybe there's a shift in your lifestyle, a shift in your perspective. Anything at all. What intention would you like to see for the coming season? This might come to you in words, it might be more of an image, it might even be a feeling. Rest here with your intention. This seed that you're planting in your heart center. And next, to connect with our breath. Keeping your intention tucked away in your heart center space, attention now moves to the breath. If it's available this morning, let your breath come and go through your nostrils. This can help lengthen the breath, slow the breath down. At the end of your next exhale, think about the navel gently tugging towards the spine. This helps the lungs to empty. As we breathe in, the belly softens and expands. Exhaling, belly drops, a gentle tugging of navel towards spine. Inhale to expand the belly. Exhale, gentle contraction. This mindful belly breathing is what we'll try to stay connected to throughout the practice. There will be mind wanders. When you catch that happening, simply come back to the breath, letting the inhale soften and expand the belly, and exhale, a gentle contraction. Begin to link some movement to the breath. If your knees have been bent, we're going to start to straighten our legs down the mat. As you inhale, your right arm and just your right arm is going to float up overhead. As you exhale, that right arm comes back down alongside the body. Inhale, left arm floats up overhead. Exhaling, left arm floats back down. We'll add one more element. Inhale, right arm floats up, and start to flex your left foot. Exhaling, right arm comes down, left foot softens. Inhale, left arm floats up overhead. Flex that right foot. Exhale, softening the foot, floating the arm back down. And we'll do this a couple more times to each side. The inhale will float one arm up overhead. The opposite foot flexes. Exhaling to relax the foot and bring the arm back down to the side. As that arm floats up overhead, think about reaching through the hand, reaching and stretching through the elbow. The exhale, softening into the support of the earth. Inhale, we reach and stretch through the arm and strongly pull the toes back towards the shin. Exhale, everything softens. Couple more times each side. The next time that the left arm floats up overhead, we'll soften, coming back to neutral, arms alongside the body. Changing the motion slightly. This time as you inhale, both arms are going to float up, and we press through both heels. Reach the heels away from you, reach the fingers towards the opposite wall, and exhale, softening. And as we move in and out of this stretch, this full body stretch, think about how the ocean tides reach into the shore, and then they slowly withdraw back out to the ocean. So as you inhale and stretch, feel the waves of the tidal ocean reaching into the shore. And as you exhale to the rest of the ocean. Inhale, reaching into the shoreline, and exhale, softening. A couple more times here. There is an incredible amount of potential energy in the tidal waves of the earth. In fact, the scientists have calculated the potential energy of the tidal waves just off the coast of Canada alone. There's so much energy there that we could power the entire country twice over for a year. So feel some of that force, that tidal energy flowing through you as you reach into the shoreline and soften back out to the sea again. One more time, we full body stretch. And this time as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. You can take a little rock. You're going to plant the feet back on the earth and step your feet a little wider apart. Your feet might be even as wide as your yoga mats. Arms are going to open out to the side into a T position with palms facing up. As you exhale here, both knees are dropping to the right. Inhale, the knees will come up to neutral. And exhale, both knees drop to the left. Gently moving in and out of a twist. The breath in brings the knees to neutral. The breath out, the knees drop to one side. Your head can remain neutral for this motion. If you'd like, you can turn your head to face the opposite direction as your knees. So if your knees drop over to the left side, your head might turn and gaze to the right. Each side one more time. After the knees drop over to the left, we draw the knees back up to neutral. Step the feet back in so they're about hips distance apart. Arms are going to come down alongside the hips now with palms facing down. Your heels will be give or take underneath your knees. And if you happen to slide a pillow or a blanket underneath your head, gently remove that for this next posture. We want the head directly on the mat. Palms are pressing down beside the hips. The feet can press into the earth. Let the thighs squeeze together as if they're holding an imaginary ball there. So the legs are still, but we gently squeeze them together. Feet are pressing down, arms are pressing down, thighs are squeezing slightly together. Start to reach your tailbone towards your heels. As this happens, you'll feel your lower back lengthen. Keep all of that alignment, and as you inhale, start to lift your hips up into the sky. As you exhale, slowly lower yourself back down. Inhale, we lift into bridge pose, pressing into arms, pressing into hands, pressing the hips up. Exhale is floating down. Inhale to rise, and see if you can slow your exhale down. Let one vertebrae come down at a time. As we focus on one vertebrae coming down at a time, that can also help us lengthen our breath. Inhale, we peel ourselves off the mat, and exhale, we come back down. Let's float up one more time. And this time we'll stay in the posture, just a couple cycles of breath. Feet are pressing down, thighs are squeezing together, arms are pressing into the earth, heart center, that place where you planted your intention, let that space move towards your chin. Deep breath in here, deep breath out. The next inhale, rise up on the balls of the feet, the heels are off the ground. Keep your heels off your ground, and as you exhale, slowly bring one vertebrae at a time back down to the earth. Once the hips and buttocks land, let the feet land. Pause. Notice how you feel here. Another exhale will draw the knees in towards the chest. You might like to squeeze them in closer. Some of you might even like to curl your forehead up towards your knees. When an exhale comes, we release the back, the head back to the mat. Your knees are going to stay in towards the chest. The arms are opening back out to a T position. We're working with a twist again, but it's going to probably feel a little bit different. The knees are in towards the chest, and as we exhale, both knees drop over to the right. As you inhale, the knees will come back up through center. The knees are close towards the chest, and exhale to the second side. You might notice how different areas of the body feel this twist versus the first one. And you might notice that your core needs to be a little bit more engaged for this one. We'll go to each side one more time. Once the knees come back to neutral, you can release the feet back down to the earth. Take a deep breath in here. Let's hold the breath a moment. And as you sigh it out, let the whole body soften. 2 more times like that. A deep breath in. Hold the breath. Exhale, soften. Feeling the support of the earth beneath you. 1 more time, a deep inhale. Hold the breath. Exhale, soften. We're going to change our position. We're going to roll over onto our bellies. However you want to get there is a-okay. To begin with, just let your hands create a little pillow for your chin or your forehead. And let's try that sighing breath 3 times here. A deep breath in, sigh it out, melt the support of the earth with each exhale. Deep breath in, exhale, soften into the earth. 1 more. From here, we'll work with a gentle back bend. Your hands are going to come underneath your shoulders. Your forehead can stay on the earth for now. Hands are underneath the shoulders and elbows hug in towards the rib cage. We lightly press the tops of the feet into the mat and lightly reach your tailbone towards your heels. Just like we did in the bridge pose, this is going to help that lower back lengthen and stabilize. As we inhale here, we're going to slowly lift the forehead, maybe part of the chest will lift off the mat. And as we exhale, we'll come back down. Inhale, we rise up. And exhale, we lower down. Now we're working with a baby cobra pose this morning. So this means very little weight is actually in my hands. We're not trying to push ourselves up into a more traditional full cobra pose. We're inhaling, we're letting the muscles, the strength of our back lift us up, and exhale, float down. And even though very little weight is in our hands, we still squeeze the elbows in towards the rib cage. Inhale, float up. This time as you exhale, think about reaching your heart center forward as you lower down. Inhale, floating up into cobra pose. Exhale, reach that heart center forward as you lower down. You have an option. You can stay here with baby cobra pose, moving in and out of the posture. If it feels like a deeper back bend would feel nice for you this morning, we'll move into Sphinx pose. With Sphinx pose, we do press in the hands a little bit so that we can come up onto our forearms. The elbows will land just underneath the shoulders, unless this is too deep of a back bend. If this is too deep of a back bend, walk your hands a little further forward, and that's going to lower that arch in the back. As we rest here in Sphinx pose, we'll find a little bit of action in our arms. We're pressing the forearms down, but we're also pulling the forearms back towards our body. As this happens, the heart center. Exhale, shoulders soften, the buttocks softens. Inhale, reach that heart center towards the top of the mat. Exhale, soften the shoulders, the jaw, the buttocks. One more round of breath here. Deep inhale. When the next exhale comes, the elbows start to wing out to the side. We keep reaching the heart center forward as we slowly lower ourselves back down. Hands creating a pillow for either your chin or your forehead. It might feel nice to wiggle the hips a little side to side. You might even wish to bend your knees so the feet are in the air and tick-tock the feet side to side. Feet will land back on the earth. We're going to press the hands underneath the shoulders once again. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, press into the earth. We press up through our tabletop pose so that we can come to a seated position. And actually, let's go ahead and just send the legs straight out in front of us. Legs are stretched out. As you exhale, feel your tailbone root down into the earth. As you inhale, feel your heart center and crown grow into the sky. Exhale, we root into the earth. Inhale, we grow up into the sky. This helps our spine lengthen in both directions, achieving a little more extension through the spine. Let the toes tug slightly back towards the shins, just to keep a little bit of engagement there. As we inhale, we're going to sweep the arms out to the side, up into the sky overhead. The exhale, touching palms come down the midline, passing through that heart center space. Inhale, the arms sweep out to the side, up into the sky. And exhale, hands come down through the midline. Couple more here. Spine is still lengthening. Tail is rooting down. Heart and crown are growing up. The next time the hands arrive at the heart center, let your exhale complete itself, and we'll change direction of motion. So the inhale sends the touching palms up midline. Exhale, hands separate and sweep back and down. Inhaling, palms come together and move up through the midline. Exhale, sweep back and down. Maybe even let the shoulder blades squeeze a little closer towards one another. If you've been keeping that engagement in the legs, that gentle tugging of the toes towards the shins, maybe you might be feeling some sensation in the legs. It might be subtle, a little subtle vibration going on. One more time, all the way around. And at the end of this exhale, our palms are going to rest on our thighs. Connect into that breath, feeling each exhale root you into the earth, each inhale growing into the sky. Let's try a twist while we're here. Let's bend the right knee. The right foot is going to come in towards the body, and you have a couple of options. You can keep this foot on the inside edge of your straight leg. If it feels like there's enough mobility in your right hip, you can step that foot to the outside edge of the left foot. Wherever the foot has been placed, we're going to hug that knee with the opposite hand. So my left arm hugs my right knee in towards my chest. My straight leg, I'm still pulling those toes back towards my shin. Inhale, let your spine lengthen. Draw your right arm up to the horizon. And as you exhale, start to turn your navel to the right, and then the shoulder girdle. The hand will touch the earth, and then scooch that hand in close towards your body. We do that so that as we press into that right hand, we can continue to lengthen up through our heart center, up to the top of the head. If it's appropriate for your neck, you can gaze over your right shoulder. And take 3 strong, deep breaths in and out here. After you've completed that third round of breath, the inhale will draw the right arm back to the horizon. And as we exhale, we're going to slowly spiral ourselves all the way back forward. Release the arm down. Release that right leg out beside its left side friend. Pause here. If there's any differences between right and left side. And then we'll try the twist on the second side. So this time it's that left knee draws in. And mindfully decide for this side, do you want to keep the foot on the inside edge or the outside edge of the straight leg? It's okay if you choose a different position. Straight leg, I'm still pulling those toes back towards my shin. My right arm is hugging my left knee in towards my torso. As I breathe in, I lengthen. My tail is rooted down, my heart and crown are growing into the sky. I draw my left hand up to the horizon, and as I exhale, I spiral my navel to the left, my shoulder girdle to the left. And when the arm won't go any further, we release that hand down, we draw it in towards the body, and then as we breathe in, we press into that left hand, press that hand into the earth, and let your heart and crown grow into the sky. We continue to root down into the earth and grow up into the sky. 3 deep rounds of breath here. After that third round of breath is complete, we inhale the left hand back to the horizon. We exhale to spiral ourselves all the way back forward. We release the arm, we release the legs, pausing again to notice right and left side. And then find a little wiggle to the feet, just turning the feet in and out a couple of times. One more stretch while we're here seated. We're going to let the soles of the feet touch, And then we're going to draw the heels in towards the body. The heels might be quite close towards your groin. They might be far away from your groin. That's okay. If this is too big a stretch for your back, your hips, your groin, feel free to take this one leg at a time. We're going to take a deep breath in, lengthen, exhale, shoulders soften. Inhale, lengthen. And this time as you exhale, reach your heart center forward as you start to lean forward, trying to keep the back flat. When you can't hinge any further without rounding the spine, pause. Take a deep breath in. Let the chin drop slightly towards the chest. Inhale, lengthen. And this time as you exhale, allow that rounding to come into the spine. The chin drops further to the chest. Maybe the hands need to walk a little further away from you. And let the spine round. Three slow cycles of breath here. Up to that neutral spine, drag your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, release them back and down. Inhale, press your shoulders forward up. Exhale, press them back and down. Hands are going to come behind the knees, help pick those little knees up. Send the legs away with a shake, shake, shake. We'll bend the knees one more time. Feet are going to be nice and wide apart here, at least hips distance apart. The hands are going to land behind the body for some support. And instead of collapsing into the spine and finding the rounding, feel some length, find some length here. So the tail is still rooting into the earth. The heart and crown is still lengthening, but it's more on an angle now. It's not straight up to the sky. And we're going to gently knock the knees from one side to the other. Still finding that slow breath in, letting the belly expand. Slow breath out, gentle contraction in the belly. One more time, each side. Let's change our position once again. We'll come onto our hands and knees. And this would be the time that if you want to pad your knees, go ahead and slide the blanket underneath your knees. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Deep breath in. Let it out. One more. And let's find that gentle arching and rounding of the spine again. As we inhale, we lift the tail, we drop the belly, heart tugs forward, chin turns up. And as we breathe, tuck the tail around the spine, chin comes towards the chest. Inhale, tail lifts, belly drops, chin turns up. Exhale, a gentle rounding of the spine. Inhale to arch. And exhale to round. Let's go each way 2 more times. Really slowing the motion down. Lao Tzu once said, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. So don't hurry the motion. At the end of your next exhale, you're going to start to sink your hips towards your heels, coming into a child's pose. Pause here, reconnect to breath, feeling that inhale expand the back body, the exhale, a gentle contraction. Inhale, the back expands, and exhale, a contraction. We're going to find a larger range of motion here. The next time you inhale, start to press into your shins. You're lifting your torso off your thighs, coming all the way up. Start to spread the arms out to the side, maybe even turning the heart up towards the sky. As you exhale, Inhale, starting to sink hips towards the heels and wrap your arms around yourself for a little hug as we sink back down. We're going to inhale, burst ourselves open. Exhale, a little hug and drop back in. So we come down to be a little seed, and as we inhale, we burst ourselves open into a flower, a tree, a shrub. Exhale, sink into being a little seed. Inhale, burst open. One more time, coming into that seed position. Burst yourself open. Pause here, not pausing the breath, just pausing the motion. One more deep inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring the torso upright, arms float up overhead, and exhale, sweep the arms back and down. One time, we inhale the hands up through the midline. Exhale, sweep back and down. Let's step that right leg out to the side. The left knee, hip, and shoulder stay stacked. We're going to inhale the arms out to the side, into the sky. We lengthen again. Tailbone is rooting down, heart and crown are growing up. And as you exhale, arc towards that straight leg. Deep side stretch. Inhale and an exhale. And inhale and an exhale. One more. We'll breathe in, tug all the way up to neutral. As you exhale, sweep the arms out to the side, back and down, and the right leg comes back in. A brief pause to notice differences between the two sides. And we'll try this side stretch going the other way. So this time it's that left leg pops out to the side, right knee, hip, and shoulder are stacked. We inhale, arms are reaching out to the side, into the sky. Tailbone is rooting down, heart and crown are lifting up. And as we exhale, we arc into the side stretch. Deep breaths in and out here. You might notice as you in and exhale that the intensity of the stretch increases and then decreases with the exhale. One more. We'll inhale, tugging up to a neutral spine. Exhale, sweeping the arms back and down. The leg tugs in. Nice. Press the shoulders forward, up. Press them back and down. Inhale, shoulders forward, up. And exhale, back down. We're going to let the hands land back on the earth, coming into our tabletop position. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, soften. Let's tuck the toes under, inhaling. As you exhale, lift the hips up and send them back. You'll be in a downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and out here. And let your attention come now to your hips. As you breathe in, start to slide your hips forward until your shoulders are stacked over top of the wrists. We end up in plank pose. Crown of the head is reaching towards one wall. The heels are reaching towards the opposite wall. Knees can be on or off the ground here. Now, ants can hold like 20 times their body weight. So we're just going to hold this for 20 breaths. I'm kidding. We're just going to hold it for 2 more cycles of breath. But still find the length. The hands are grounding down into the earth. The heels and the crown are reaching away from each other. Take a deep breath in. Attention comes back to your hips. And as you exhale, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Letting the legs pedal out a couple of times here. Get a little stretch through the hamstrings. We're going to inhale, come up way onto the balls of the feet. The heels are off the ground. And as you exhale, reach the heels back and down. Doesn't matter if they make it to the earth. One round of breath here. And we gaze forward at our hands and we step or walk ourselves forward to a standing forward fold. Inhale, let's bring our torsos halfway up, finding a jackknife with the body. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, rise halfway up. Crown and tail are reaching away from each other. Exhale to fold. One more time, we inhale, rising halfway up. We exhale, we fold. Let your knees soften. As we breathe in, we're pressing into the feet. Chin comes towards the chest. Arms sweep out to the side. We're slowly coming all the way up to standing. Arms reach up overhead. And exhale. Draw the hands down the midline to arrive at the heart center. Eventually releasing those hands and drawing the chin up last. We've made it to standing. Take a deep breath in here. Exhale, feel your feet ground down into the earth. Deep breath in, ground down into the earth. Let's actually take the feet a little bit wider than our hips now and let the knees be soft. We're going to bring their hands to the hips and start to take the hips around in some circles. This might be big circles, it might be little circles. Take a pause. We'll change direction of motion. Eventually we'll come all the way back to neutral. We'll step the feet back in so they are about hips distance apart and let your arms come down. If it's comfortable, you can let your eyes drift closed. We're going to start to establish ourselves in mountain pose. This posture pops up in many yoga classes, but we don't often pause and hang out here. And there's actually a fair bit going on. So let's start down at the feet. Let your feet gently press down into the earth. And as the feet press down, you might feel the legs firm up a little bit. See if you can still keep a little bit of softness in the knees. So the feet are pressing down, but a little softness in the knees. Let your tailbone root down towards the earth. That lower back will lengthen. Your belly will begin to engage. Let your heart center lift to the sky. Let your shoulders down. Let the top of the head. And see if you can draw your ears back so the ears are over top the shoulders. The tendency is the head is thrust forward. So see if you can draw the ears back over top of the shoulders. And then ever so slightly, maybe about 1/2 centimeter, drop the chin towards the chest. Feet are pressing down. Tail is rooting down. Heart and crown are growing. Breath is slow and smooth. The inhale, expanding the belly. The exhale, a gentle contraction. We're going to utilize the stability, the foundation of mountain pose. So feel the strength and integrity you have here, the sky. And you'll start to draw your hands to your hips. We'll let our weight shift over into our left foot. And as that happens, the left hip might pop out to the side, drop back in the midline, turn the right toes out to the side. We're coming into tree pose. You might hang out here. Maybe you come onto the ball of the right foot. Another option is to bring that right foot in so the heel rests against the inner left shin. If you wish to challenge your balance a little bit more this morning, we place that right foot against the calf or even coming up to the inner thigh of the left foot. Left foot is still rooting down into the earth. Heart and crown are growing. Your hands of tree branches, whatever kind of tree you feel like being this morning. Feel yourself rooting into the earth. Feel yourself growing into the sky. Each exhale is an opportunity to root in. Each inhale is an opportunity to grow up. It's okay if there's swaying and motion in your tree pose. Trees in the wild tend to sway And as you exhale, slowly starting to lower the hands back to the hip, start to release that right foot and come back to a more of a mountain-like position. Hands on or off the hips. A deep breath in and out here. We'll try tree pose on the second side. The other. Weight starts to move into that right foot. Feel that right foot ground. You might even visualize roots growing out of the bottom of your foot and anchoring around a boulder. Right hip is hugging in towards the midline. Tailbone is dropping down, heart and crown are lifting, and left toes turn out to the side. Choosing to stay here or maybe coming onto the ball of the left foot. Maybe scooching that left foot in towards the right leg. Maybe even floating the foot off the ground. Something that can help in tree pose if the left foot is off the ground is the left foot presses into the right leg and the right leg presses back into that foot. Deep breath in and out here, finding whatever expression of tree branches you'd like on this side. And think about each exhale is rooting you down, each inhale you're growing up. Slow, deep breathing. When the next exhale comes, the hands will float back down, the leg can release. Or a shake, let them have it. And then allow your eyes to drift closed. And see if you can reestablish yourself in that mountain posture. With the feet pressing down, weights not too far forward or too far back. Tailbone is reaching towards the earth. Heart and crown reach towards the sky. Shoulders, jaw, the eyes, they're all soft. Connecting to breath. Slow inhale and a slow exhale. This next inhale, let the arms sweep out to the side, up into the sky. As you exhale, knees soften, chin comes towards the chest as we start to swan dive ourselves to a forward fold. You might pause halfway down if you have any issues with your sinuses or blood pressure or anything going on in your spine. It might be best to stay here. If it is comfortable, you can release the rest of the way down into a forward fold. And take a couple breaths here. One more round of breath here. And inhale will come halfway up, make a jackknife with the body. Exhale, fold. One more time like that. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, we fold. Let the start to soften enough that you can plant your hands on the floor. Return to hands and knees. 3 times we'll inhale, arch the back, and exhale to round the back. Inhale, arching, and exhale, rounding. From here, let's drop over on one hip. We'll send our legs out in front of us. Let your knees be bent. To our backs. Once you arrive here, a deep breath in, a deep breath out. Let your left leg straighten. Let your right knee drop over to the side. Let your arms come out, perhaps out to the side. Tree pose, but a fallen tree pose. maybe a sleeping tree pose. Just a couple rounds of breath here. Might be nice to sigh these exhales out. One more round of breath here. As we breathe in, draw that right knee back up, straighten the right leg. And as you're ready, you'll bend your left knee, left foot is on the ground, and then allow the left knee to drop over to the left side, finding your sleeping tree pose on this side. A couple slow, deep breaths here, letting each exhale leave you with a sigh. The trees are some of the most remarkable beings on the planet. The sequoia trees on the west coast can grow to be like 26 stories tall and live for like 2,000 years if left undisturbed. So imagine the stillness and the strength of that sequoia tree. Slowly draw that left knee back up. Let it lengthen. Take a deep breath in here and sigh all the way out. We'll bend both knees this time. Both feet are flat on the floor. And exhale, sway the knees to one side. Inhaling to come up through center and exhale, swaying to the second side. Just a very gentle twist. And take this next moment or so and move in any other way you'd like. And take that. The next place we're coming to as a group will be Shavasana. So taking the time to get well stretched out and comfortable. So this might mean you put your socks on, you might grab your sweater or pull your blanket nearby. And as you start to settle into Shavasana, mindfully choose the position you'd like to be in. This might be knees bent with the knees knocking in towards one another. Maybe you'd like to lengthen legs long down your mat. Arms might be alongside the body with palms facing up. Facing the palms down can be grounding. Likewise, placing the hands on the belly can feel grounding. So choosing a position for you that feels comfortable. Let yourself wiggle in, get a little bit more comfortable. Making any last minute adjustments in your Shavasana posture. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. Let your face and head soften. Deep breath in. As you sigh this one out, let the shoulders, the arms, the hands soften. Inhale. This exhale, the torso, the belly, the back, all soften. Inhale. And an exhale to soften through the hips, the legs, the feet, and the toes. Breath in. Exhale, let yourself soften into the support of the earth. A breath in. Exhale, softening into the support of the earth. Let's stay connected with that breath. Just a few moments more. Each inhale, feel yourself drawing in vitality, drawing in energy. And each exhale, feeling that support of the earth beneath you, feeling yourself rooting into the earth. Each inhale, drawing in life force, vitality. Each exhale, rooting into the earth. As you continue with this breath, you might begin to feel the inhale more as a blooming, as a growing. Each exhale, both rooting and softening. Continue that for 3 more rounds of breath. And allow yourself to float in the stillness between the earth and the sky. Slowly start to draw your attention back with a breath in and a breath out. Let your fingers wiggle and your toes wiggle. You might wish to inhale yourself into that full body stretch, just like the tide, the ocean waves reach into the shore. And then when you exhale, softening back out to sea again. The inhale, stretching, reaching into the shore. And exhale, softening. And slowly roll onto our side and pause in the fetal position. One arm might create a little pillow for your head. Feel the earth beneath you, gently holding you. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Let's gently press up into a comfortable seated position. Any seated position that works for you is okay. It can be cross-legged, one or both legs might be out in front of you. Feel free to keep your blanket tucked around you. Establish your seat, letting your tailbone reach you into the earth. Let your heart and crown grow into the sky. Let your shoulders soften. And we'll practice 3 rounds of bumblebee breath. With bumblebee breath, we use our index fingers and gently press that little triangular bit at the entrance of our ears into the ears to block out ambient noise. We take a breath in, and the exhale is a humming sound. So we'll each go at a pace, gently blocking the ears. Draw a breath in and hum. Releasing your hands back to your lap. Noticing. Return to mindful breathing. And each inhale, draw in life force and energy. Exhale, rooting into the earth. Inhale, drawing in life force, vitality. Exhale, rooting into the earth. Inhale, the heart and crown are lifting. The exhale, tail is rooting. I invite you to bring back to mind the intention you set at the beginning of class. Imagine that intention as if it were a seed. Now imagine yourself as that seed. In the earth. And whether it was a cold period or a wildfire, whatever the circumstances were that brought you here, trust that you're in the right spot to germinate. Each inhale, continue to draw in vital energy and lengthen. Each exhale, a softening and a rooting, a grounding into the earth. Now, earlier I mentioned the amount of energy and the tidal forces off Canada's coasts, the amount of weight an ant can carry, how big and how old the redwoods can be. There is an incredible amount of energy on this planet. And yet we feel cut off from it. We tend to feel separate from other beings and separate from the earth itself. We have forgotten The simple truth that the same energy that allows giant redwoods to grow to their towering heights and ants to carry acorns, that same energy is available to us too. There is transformative power in spending time in nature and in doing spiritual work. And that power is to lift this veil of separation, to help us realize our connection, to help us draw on this vital life force that is all around us. So come back to that seed self that you are. Surrounded by the vital life force energy that is all over this beautiful planet of ours. And the next time you exhale, feel your little seed coat crack. Tiny root emerge. With your next exhale, seeing, feeling, or sensing that root growing down into the earth. Your next exhale, that root grows deeper. Now let's begin to connect to the inhale. As you inhale, feel the seed coat crack towards the top, and a little cotyledon, a little wee leaf stalk starts to come out. Each exhale, we continue to feel our roots deepen and broaden in the earth. As you inhale, feel that little leaf stalk grow a little taller. Exhale, we are rooting, connecting deeply and intimately into the earth. Each inhale, we grow. Each exhale, we root. Continue here, feeling yourself both growing, perhaps blossoming. Feel yourself feeling fully supported and rooted into the earth. At some point you might feel, sense, or imagine what type of plant you are. Maybe you're a flower or a tree. Maybe you're a shrub. The earth provides everything this sweet little seed needs to grow. The sun and the rain, nutrients from decomposing matter. And the little seed plays a very active role as well. An acorn does not become an oak tree by remaining an acorn. That acorn must crack, it must grow, and it must adapt. And now likewise, as we plant our intentions, we need to provide the conditions to help it grow. The sun, the rain, the nutrients. But we also must take action to grow and to manifest this intention. And so that is our challenge. Continuing to tap into this life force that surrounds us, that is unconditionally offered to us. To make mindful choices and take mindful action to help our intention grow and thrive. Each inhale, growth, blooming, blossoming. Each exhale, rooting and grounding. Let your attention return to your heart center space, feeling that heart center suspended between earth and sky, being gently held. reminding yourself of that intention you have set. Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Take a gentle breath in. Sigh the breath out. You can just gently release that meditation, but allow it to float in the background of your thoughts. Idea of growing, this idea of nurturing the seed of your intention. As you breathe in, let your arms sweep out to the side, come up into the sky overhead. The palms can touch, and as you exhale, let those touching palms come down to the heart center. The palms can continue to touch one another, or maybe placing those palms on that heart center, on top of that seed of intention you've placed. Let the warmth of your hands infiltrate your heart space, warming that little seed. As you pause here, I'd like to offer each of you Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, which means may you be filled with loving kindness, may you be well, may you be peaceful and at ease, may you be truly happy and free of suffering, may you love and accept yourselves just as you are, and may the seed of your intention that you planted today grow, bloom, and thrive in this coming season. May we have peace in our thoughts, peace in our speech, and peace in our hearts. And from my heart to each of your hearts, I thank you so much for practicing today. Namaste. Wide. Exhale, wrap around for a hug. Inhale, arms spread. Exhale, hug the other way. Thank you so much for practicing today. Keep your intention in mind, that idea of connecting to the earth's energy. It is here for all of us. We just have to remember. Maybe go out and hug a tree today. Check out some of the beauty in nature. It's a beautiful sunny day out there today. Just feel free to reach out and connect. I would gladly speak with you about it. Be gentle with yourself these next few hours. Be gentle, drink some water to help hydrate, and enjoy your day. Happy Earth Day, everybody. Bye now.